Well, good morning, you guys. First things first, I'm gonna go move these goats around, so bear with me. I gotta go hook them up. This dude's been being a little butthead lately, so I've been gonna try to pull this crap. That's cool. And of course, Cappy's running away. Cappy, come here. Come on. Always trying to wrap me up. Come on. Come on, fool. Never want to go where I want them to go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let me close the gate. Let me close the gate. All right, come on. I don't know why Sir was such a butthead the other day. Come on. Bring him back over to this area. Let him continue going. Come on. You guys know where you're going by now, or you should. Come here, sir. All right. All right, cat, or sir. This way. This way. All right. Got them all hooked in. It's always a bit interesting doing one-handed / two-handed filming with one hand and trying to see what I'm doing with the other eyes and hands, and yeah, these guys like to get tangled up and try to tangle me up while they're doing it. So they are all good now. Hopefully Sir doesn't get too tangled up again. This dude's got a long leash and he's got a lot that he's got to clear up here and there. So he can definitely have a little bit more free reign. He tends to, like, if he tangles himself up, he tends to be able to untangle himself a little bit here and there. Cappy, on the other hand, not so much. She gets tangled up, she just seems to get herself more and more tangled up to a point where there is no more leash or lead. She's stuck to whatever she's tangled to. So I give her a little shorter one and say, nope, this is as far as you can go. And that spot specifically, she does pretty good on. And she hasn't really gotten tangled up yet. So this guy though, that's neither here nor there. He's always tangling himself up over here a little bit. So there's a lot to get himself caught up in. But last couple of times I've left him out here, every time I come check on him, he still has like a good 15-foot lead and he's tangled up a little bit and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna stay over here. No more moving. But there they are. They're good. Man, it's bright. It is a bright one today and it's gonna be a beautiful one. I've got some plans for today. We do want to get up on the cabin. We want to work a little bit on it and get that all situated and everything else like that, and make sure, you know, we can continue with the progress and moving in the right direction and all that fun stuff. I don't want to go too far crazy over there, but it looks so good, you guys. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. If you haven't seen the video on that yet, you got to go back and watch it on Simple Life, because it's a really cool one. We had a whole construction crew come out and give us a hand, and I'm so thankful to Larry and his crew for coming out here. Larry Simpson's Construction. They know what they're doing and they're able to get it going real quick. Both gable ends completely done. That's just mind-blowing. Every time I come out here and I look at it, I'm just like, for real? That is insane. Because it literally takes me almost you know, all day just to be able to put in 4, maybe 6 rows of boards, right? And it's rough by myself. Managing a 12-foot board and trying to go up and down and make sure it's spaced correctly and not come crashing down off the lip that it's on and everything. And yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. And even with Mel coming out and helping me, I got to the point where it was like, we're gonna be having to be on ladders. And Mel's awesome with the heights. Okay, this is a little joke, I'm sorry. She's doing really good with them lately, you know, and she's able to conquer a lot of her fears, and she's done a lot of that this job site. But the second you start climbing up a ladder and things start shaking a little bit off on the ladder and everything else, it's a natural thing for a human to be like a little tense, you know. And if I need her to reach over a little here and there, it's a little interesting. So it's at that point, or it was at that point where I was like, this is gonna take a minute. I need her help, and I need somebody's help, you know. I mean, when they offered that, I was like, count me in, because that would be awesome. And he's an awesome dude, and his construction crew, it was a great time. I absolutely enjoyed working with them, and in that pace. I like to be able to move, and I like to be able to go, and I don't want to really stop a lot of times. I want to be able to just, when I get in that rhythm and that groove, I feel like a lot of you guys will understand that, you know, you don't really want to stop what you're doing. You're in that groove, you know what I mean? And you want to stay in that groove for as long as possible. And with that crew and everything, I felt like, you know, I blended in pretty well with them and everything else like that. And the pace was just amazing, and I couldn't, you know, be happier, just in the sense of like working that way. It's something that I definitely miss a lot, and which is one thing that I was really enjoying when I went and worked with Nick just a little bit, gave him a hand with those 12s. That pace was just so nice and just so like relieving in a sense. I don't know how to describe it. I was sore, but it's that happy sore, you know, that good sore feeling when it's like, oh, my body's burnt, but at the same time it feels good, you know. And it's one of those things. This last couple of weeks we're definitely I was burning at every end itself, and I don't think I would have been able to complete it if I didn't have God's strength on my side, you know. I lean in a lot, and I don't think, you know, we speak about it that much, but I leaned in to my faith a lot with this build and everything else. It's one of those things, especially, I'm not a builder, you know. I mean, I guess I am now, but like, I didn't know how to build a house. I didn't know how to build a basement. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I like manuals, and I like reading like specifications and like deep diving into certain things like that, to where like bolt specs and just all sorts of things, you guys, like tolerances and just anything and everything that has to do with like engineering. Basically, I've always nerded out and geeked out over. I don't know why. maybe it's my brain of sort of, you know, saying I want to try to figure out how things are put together or made or anything else. That whole TV series show is of like how it's made. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but I absolutely love that show. I mean, like, oh wow, that's how that's made. Okay, you know. But anyway, I digress. But doing a lot of that stuff, you know, not knowing any, you know, not knowing how to do any of that and everything else, and I put my faith into it. That, you know, no matter what, I feel like because I'm putting him first, and because I'm putting them, you know, the God, Jesus, and the Holy Ghost first, before my family, before me, before anything in this world itself, that they are number one. And knowing that and putting that first at all times and every time, and know when I'm sort of clueless or I'm sort of stressed out or anything else, I do this, you know. It's like, look, I'm only human, and I know I'm not gonna know exactly what to do, but I know he does, and I know he's going to help me, and I know he's going to guide me in one way or another. And a lot of the times things just sort of pop out in front of me in a sense of like, oh, I need to research that, and I need to watch that. That's what I'm doing right now, and let me see how that goes. Like, I can't tell you how many times in my life, the property, everything, like there's so much, you know. I mean, it's shown me a lot more with this build and has built my testimony in so many different ways. It's not even funny. It's not even funny, you guys. And it's one of those things that, you know, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I would be really doing this. I don't know if I would really be, you know, out here having this kind of a dream and everything else, in all reality wise. Now, it might be somebody else's dream and that not having that be your focal point or anything else, but I would strive to try to, you know, look into it a little bit more, you know. But that being said, I'm going to continue with my walk and enjoy my walk. I've got Socks with me. Socks is out here walking, of course. She heard me blabbering and popped up. She's underneath my feet. Spider web. Gotta matrix it a little bit. But it's really, really nice though, being able to walk around in the forest and out here. This to me is my happy space. I know I've said it 1,000 times, you know, but nature to me is more therapeutic and more revealing to me in like God's creations, you know. It's natural, it's undisturbed as much as possible, you know. I mean, there's obviously a trail that got cut through and everything else like that, but this whole back part, there's some trees that are down, right, that just blew down from the wind. A lot of firewood. When people say, oh, why are you burning that and you should cut it up, I've got probably about I would say 3-4 months worth of firewood just sitting right there. that's my list to say about over on this side or that side or that side. Like, the more you go up, there's trees everywhere, you guys, and it's beautiful. It's natural. There's so many different little things. Like, there's been a down tree. If I find it, I'll show you guys. But this tree literally fell. The roots are still connected, and there's a tree growing out of the trunk, or the actual tree itself, the whole trunk of it and everything. Like, it's weird looking. It almost looks like it was a branch at one point, but now this branch is a tree with multiple other branches and have its own trunk and root structure off of that old tree. Like, it's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Here's another dead cedar. It's about to fall over. I have a feeling it's gonna fall most likely this winter. I'll have another tree to clean out of the path. But I enjoy walking back here, man. There's so many different little creatures and everything else sitting out in the blinds and all that, which I haven't really done a whole lot of this year. It's just been so busy. There's been a lot of back and forth with everybody and with everything, and it's been a little crazy, you know. But I'm trying to enjoy walking on the property and everything, get my scent somewhat out here a little bit, but also talk so that way the deer know that I'm in this area and that they're not going to get spooked out and be like, oh, you know, something's going on. Because that's how I feel, at least. And I'll just walk this and get my scent out here and get them to somewhat be a little used to my scent. Maybe they'll be like, oh, he went for a walk today, you know, and not be so spooked when I'm up in a tree and I've been sitting there for a minute. That's my idea, at least. I don't know. This is the 3rd year of hunting, and I'm going to be trying to really hone in everything that I've learned over the last 2 years, and I feel like I've learned a lot, and I think next year is going to be even crazier with what I have planned and everything else. But that's neither here nor there. That's next year. I don't need to be worried about the things that are in the future. I need to be worried about today. And today is gonna be a beautiful, beautiful day. We've got a guys fishing trip coming up this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm gonna take Abe, my son, and we're gonna go out to the normal spot and go fishing and enjoy the guys and everything else like that, and just have some real good male bonding time, you know. And then we'll be coming back and doing a little bit more outdoor stuff. I'm gonna take Abe out that way, and he really wants to go hunting too. And this weekend is the opener for alternate firearm in Arkansas. Definitely triple check everywhere where you're at. So go for, you know, some random spot, but look at your regulations. But that's the starter for us, and I'm looking forward to it, you know. But I'm gonna also be out fishing during this weekend, so I'm hoping that the weather doesn't screw me as soon as I get back and just warm up, because there's supposed to be a cold front that blows through this weekend. It's one of those where it's like, dang it, you know. You can't really plan around it or time it, you know, and it is what it is. But Abe does want to do a little bit of hunting this weekend as well, so we're gonna go fishing, do all that, and then we might end up you know, bailing out on Monday and then do some fishing Monday, Tuesday, or hunting Monday, Tuesday, because it is like their fall break time or whatnot. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing a lot of outdoor stuff, and me and him are gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be really, really good to be able to get out there and enjoy nature, you know. Fox is still coming, all right. I was like, she ain't underneath my feet. I have a feeling she's close. She's somewhere. I don't know where. But it's been a really, really good week. It's been pretty busy, but this week has been a bit of a recovery over the last 2-3 weeks of busyness, to where it was like, oh, my body's so sore and dead. I can't really hold the camera, you know. But we're still at it. Yesterday was a good day. We ended up getting a lot of stuff prepped for the mudroom sighting, and today I'm going to try to get up as much sighting as I can, because everything's pretty much prepped for sighting. So I can get quite a bit up there before I head out for the guys fishing trip and all that. And I do got to go to town and go get some supplies for this weekend and everything else like that. So it's gonna be a bit of back and forth, getting everything prepped and all that fun stuff. It's looking like a really, really good weekend. I really can't wait, to be quite honest. I'm looking forward to enjoying a nice time somewhere where there is no cell service, and it's a nightmare to even try to get cell service going or anything else like that. It's gonna be a really, really good time. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be one of those things that you know, we go out there and try for our best and everything else like that, and we'll see what exactly happens and how it all plays out, you know. But I'm pretty positive that we're all going to be catching a lot of fish. A lot of fish. This is one of those trips where it's not, can't really call it fishing. I call it catching, to be quite honest, because you're going to catch a fish. There is no doubt about it. There's so much fish in there. You know, what kind of fish? I don't know. You're gonna catch something, more than likely a trout, but you know, it's very plausible that we'll get one of those, and we'll get a lot of other things, and it's gonna be a really good time. I'm hoping that I can do some hunting this evening, get out and sit out in my blinds and whatnot. I gotta see what the winds are doing, but I'm hoping that everything pans out and everything works out to where, you know, we can have a really, really good weekend. But either way, we're gonna catch a lot of fish. I know that. A's been looking forward to this one for a minute, so I've been looking forward to it. But lately, which is really weird for me to say, I'm a fisherman and I love fishing, and I've always loved fishing. But this hunting, I'm telling you, I'm almost like, I'm at that point where I'm like, man, I'm addicted to, I want sitting up in a tree and then having, you know, a deer walk out in front of you is just like, oh, one of those feelings, you know, I can't describe it. And last year was really, really cool because like we got to see a lot of deer, you know, and this year it's they're out here, but this weather has not really been in our favor. So I'm hoping that that we'll be able to do what we need to do, get all these outdoor activities situated, and have good times doing it, but also have a lot of time to where we can get this cabin done, because this cabin is definitely my mindset, which is partly why I haven't really been doing a whole lot of hunting this year. But it is what it is. I can't wait to have that cabin done, and then I can really focus on, you know, creating my proving grounds out here and getting everything all situated, and do a lot of things. We've got a lot of plans in the future, and I'm gonna be busy, I feel like, until, you know, till I pass, because there's so much to do, and so much things that I want to get going and everything else like that. And what I feel like I need to do, you know, there's a lot, which we'll be spilling a lot of beans here towards probably the end of the year. We'll let you guys know what's going on, because from what I'm seeing on the cabin, for those people that say when, all right, I really wanted it to be done by the end of this year, but this spring, or this last spring and summer, man, it rained so much more than when I think anybody was anticipating in this area. And it's hard when you're doing everything with cash and you're buying materials as you feel is necessary, and you're doing everything like that. And when you've already allotted that lump sum, you know, and you have those materials and you can't install those said materials until the weather's better, and it's like you don't want it to get, you know, screwed up at the end of it and everything else like that, because that'd just be a nightmare to have to buy the same materials twice, because it's screwed up to the point where, you know, you can't use it yet. And when you go to use it, so anyway, we're doing everything little by little, right? And it was looking like we were going to be able to get there, but now with the weather and everything else, and if the winter is like it was last winter, which I was expecting it to be really nasty and screwed up, we got a lot more done than I thought in the winter time. I'm hoping that this winter is going to be like that. And from the almanac and from everything else, it's looking like it's going to be a lot like last year, but who knows, you know? I really don't want to sit there and pre-plan that far in the future. Don't worry about it too much, but from what it's looking like, it's going to be about the beginning of next spring to the, you know, beginning of summer, somewhere in that ballpark, which would be perfect, to be quite honest. But we'll see how it all goes. We'll see what happens. As it sits, it's looking really likely, and I'm really looking forward to being able to get in there and get all those things going and whatnot. The inside really isn't going to take that long. Our cabin seems like a huge cabin from what the cameras do or everything else like that. However, it's only 33 by 33. Okay. That's the exterior dimensions. It's not the interior dimensions. And just based off the exterior, it's 1,089 square feet. If I take away all the studs and I take away all of everything in there, it's probably closer to about 950 in that ballpark, right? maybe 1,000 if you can include the mud room, like in that ballpark. So it's somewhere in there is what I'm thinking. Might be even less than that. Now, our old house in Arizona was I want to say it was like 33 by 68. Okay. From what I remember on that's where it was. Both the basement and the cabin combined is still less than that house. So, just saying. Now the basement's even a lot smaller, even though it is 33 by 33. Gotta remember, I got 12-inch blocks on the exterior wall, except for the front. However, the front is an 8-inch block, and I put a 2x4 stud member on the inside, plus the 1/2-inch drywall, which is 4 inches, plus the 8 is 12 inches. So might as well just call it 12 inches all the way around, right? And then I've got an 8-inch block wall right in the dead center of it and everything else like that. So in all reality, the basement's probably closer to about like 800, maybe even, you know, maybe a little bit more, a little less, somewhere in that ballpark. So the square footage of the house really is not that big. And the basement's already pretty much situated and done, except for the ceiling and the floor. Whatever we feel like doing on that. But the ceiling will end up coming before anything else. And then the floor will end up doing that one later on. But that one, the basement, I ain't even too worried about, to be quite honest. I want to get the whole cabin on the upstairs done with all the trim, with all the everything. So that way we can move out of the basement up into the cabin. And then I can go back to the basement and finish up the basement. So in all that time, that's where I feel like that's when we're going to be able to be up there in springtime. And then we'll work on the basement for next year, basically until the end of that year, I feel like. And I feel like that might end up finishing it all off. Plus, in the time being of in between all of that, I got this garage slab over here that's been sitting for, 4 years. I'd really like to have my garage back. I miss my garage. I really, really miss it. So that might be coming a little bit sooner than I feel like anybody really anticipates. However, I don't know. We're gonna see what we can do and everything else like that. There's a lot of finishing work that needs to be done inside of the cabin, and I've got a lot of tools up there. Got a lot of everything else. So that might be some beans that I'm spilling a little bit. But yeah, this one definitely might be coming a little bit sooner than I think anybody was anticipating. Not fully finished out, but at least a building to where I can put all my stuff in. Somewhat like how the cabin is. It's dry, but it's not finished. That would be a really nice dry spot right there that I can put a lot of materials and we can work out of and organize and everything else, and not have to, have it sitting in dirt up off the ground a little bit. So yeah, but doesn't it look so beautiful? I really, really like it. So I think that's gonna be it though today, you guys. I've got a lot to do. I gotta run around, go get all my stuff together for camping and all that fun stuff. Make sure that I'm situated so that way I can work like no tomorrow. This afternoon, get as much siding up as possible, and then when Abe gets home, I think I might take him out and sit in the blind with him. So it's gonna be a really, really good day today. I hope you guys enjoy your day, and until the next one, we'll catch you on the next one. But until then, you guys, we'll see you there later.